Welcome everybody. In today's video, we'll be taking a look at the GANZO Firebird. If the camera will focus, there we go. fh923 in D2 steel. Also in D2 steel, the SRM 9201GB. I wish these knife companies would name their flippin' knives, because all these numbers I cannot keep up with. Like, just call them something, even if it's a stupid name, just name it. Something other than a number system, please. So, we have two clip point budget blades, both knives under like $35 at the time that I bought them. And within like a couple months of getting them. So, you know, fairly recent, fairly current, fairly relevant to one another. This is a full tang, or not full tang, but like full liners, not nested, very heavy, not super heavy, but you pick it up, you know it's a knife. It's a thick blade on bearings. Keep that in mind. Bear that in mind. Haha. Bearing, bear. Yeah, that sounded better in my head. But it is a ball bearing Walker liner lock knife for about $30. Drop shut, smooth action, only flipper tab. If you're not into flipper tabs, you know, this knife may already be out of your league. But we have G10 scales, we have a deep carry pocket clip, and as Bees Blades likes to say, there's mushrooms growing in the shade, but these mushrooms do not get in the way of your pants pocket when you try to pocket the knife. We have some texture on the G10, if the camera will focus. Kind of like golf ball dimples all over the place. Very wonderful knife. Glad I got that. That thing is fantastic. This would be a good camping knife. It is a good EDC knife. I mean, it's a little heavy for the EDC, but self-defense, camping, hard use, good knife. I love it. I have a wasp on the window right beside me, so if I run, that's why. I don't have a fly swatter within range, so we'll just hope he sits on the window and stays minding his own business. Now we go to the SRM 9201GB. This is kind of like a Benchmade Crooked River. Just to kind of throw the comparisons out there, this is the full-size Crooked River. It's a little smaller, but usable blade about the same, balanced differently. We got some idiot on a four-wheeler running around my windows out here, so that's what that rumbling is. He's not constant with when he does the four-wheeler. You don't know when he's going to do it, so you just kind of got to bear with it and go. But G10 scales, full liners, nested. I don't know how well it'll show up on camera, but on the spine, the liners come close to the end, and on the front, they're not as close. They're kind of recessed a little bit farther, but they are full liners that are skeletonized. So are these. These are skeletonized liners as well, if you could not see earlier. If the camera will please focus. There we go. Some beautiful liners in there. Collecting some pocket lint, as all liners should. Both knives, out of box, super sharp. To prove that, we'll get a piece of paper here. Sharp. Sharp. Adequately sharp. Both knives have about the same blade length, have about the same handle, about the same curvature. Both knives are very comparable to each other. And if you're looking for a poor man's Crooked River, and I managed to get this one cheap when I got it, but this is a Crooked River. If you're wanting a Crooked River and you want something similar, but you don't want to pay the $260 that these usually go for, just for the base models, put that thought aside and start looking at these. I think these are two great knives. I love them. This is the newest one I've had for a few days now, and I think this thing is just delightful. I've had this for a month or so now. I think this is delightful. What are you looking for in a Crooked River? You know, are you wanting the nice big Bowie knife shape? Are you wanting a little bit of the badassery? Or are you wanting like the kind of more classic clip pointy style with the axis lock? You know, are you a lanyard user? I think this is the better lanyard hole. Both knives have great pocket clips. Like, I'd say this one's just a little bit better on your hand when you're holding it compared to the GANZO one, but that's just my opinion. I've got big hands. As some of you probably already know, I've got big hands. Both knives fit those hands quite well. Full 4-finger grip, and then some. This one is very fidgety. It's not on bearings, it's on copper and Teflon washers. 4 washers with like 2 metal washers, and then on the other side is the Teflon, something like that, which makes for very smooth action. I like it. Very flicky, very fidgety, very solid. Both knives super solid. This one has like the minutest amount of blade play. This one has like no blade play thanks to the bearings. That's one thing I love about bearing knives, is you can really crank that screw down tight and you still got flicking action. That's just wonderful. I love that more knives are doing bearings. Both knives about $30. Bearings, copper and Teflon. Axis lock, no axis lock. Flipper tab, flipper hole, so to speak, if you want to say that. Deep carry clips, lanyard holes. Blade thicknesses compared to each other. I'd say the GANZO is just a hair thicker if you're wanting to do like heavy camping work. This is a full flat grind. This is kind of the saber grind high flat. You know, like you have decisions to make here. They're not making it easy on you to pick which one. But look at it this way. You're wanting to pay $260 for a Crooked River. Why not just pay the $60 and get both knives? One for the front pocket, one for the back pocket. If you ever see me out in public, you'll see I almost always have a multi-tool or food preppy knife in my front jeans pocket. And then in my back pocket, I've got a bulkier, heavy-duty work knife, self-defense knife sticking out of the back pocket. Both knives, when put in a pocket, stay in the pocket. These aren't slipping out on you. The clips have good retention. Both solid, both well made, and budget. Good brands. Like, everything about these things is just good. Great. Smooth. Very refined for the price. I like that. So, tell me down below if you're going to get one of these, which one are you choosing? And why do you want to choose? Like, what do you gravitate towards? Do you gravitate towards the sharp contrast of this, and maybe the little bit dulled features of this? Are you wanting specifically the axis lock? Are you wanting any lock? You know, liner lock would suit you just fine. Are you wanting the bearings? Do you not care about the bearings? Do you like the holes? You know, tell me down below, like, what tips you one way or the other? Which knife do you think is better than the other? Personally, I kind of like this. I like that this one looks closer to the Crooked River. This one doesn't look as close to the Crooked River, but it does share some of the aspects of the Crooked River. Personally, I do like this. The Sanrenmu, SRM, Stay Ready for More, whatever you want to call that brand. I personally like that just a little bit better than this. But this one, you know, like, you grab this knife, you know you've got a knife. And the back edge is sharp, which, great for creating tinder for fires. You know, both of them fuzz stick quite nicely. This is just a bamboo chopstick here. Both of them fuzz stick nicely, both of them scrape nicely. This one doesn't have as sharp of a back, but it can still kind of get some of that edges going. You can kind of use like the jimping on the back to get some bark loosened up if you need. Make some light tinder to start a fire. Like, I think both knives are going to be great. The inside of this is kind of sharp, so like you can maybe use that a little bit to kind of get like a ferro rod struck or something. You know, who knows? So, thank you for watching this video. I got a little rambly here. Hope you like the content. Hope you find the stuff in here useful, informational, yada yada yada. And until the next video, carry well, and bye bye.